Coucou, we're Isabel and Kim, girlfriends living in France and chatting about everything going on in our lives. Come hang out with us while we cheers with an Aperol Spritz, swap stories, get into some deep talks, and share what we've learned along the way. Make sure to follow us and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram at coucou.pod. Also, you can leave a review if you want, because that helps us too.
Yes. Hi, Isabel. It's good to see you.
Hi.
I feel like it's been a while.
Yeah, we haven't seen each other in about a week.
I know. There's been a lot going on.
Yeah.
But fun stuff.
What have you been up to?
Well, I went on a hike. I'm trying to do things a little out of my comfort zone. So that's like I feel like my new goal is like I want to try something new and different that kind of scares me every week. So whether that's like, like this strange workout thing I did the other week, which I can tell you about another time. But this one was a hike with another couple who I had no idea. They live in Australia and are very experienced hikers.
Okay.
I thought we were basically kind of going on, a slight walk uphill. And I was
and I will say this region has really good hiking. I'm not like a big hiker, but there's a lot of hikes here.
And so people are like serious hikers here. Yes.
Okay.
Just to level set. And so there's this huge mountain in Aix-en-Provence called Sainte-Victoire, which I have no idea like how tall it is, but it's literally.
It's really big.
It seems huge. Like, I mean, you can see it from everywhere. But anyways, and so this couple invited us and they're like, why don't we hike to the top of Sainte-Victoire? And you can see like the top and there's like this kind of like cool cross up there and there's mountain goats. And I thought, well, oh yeah, this sounds fun. Like something different. I wouldn't normally do this. It was the scariest thing ever. There's two routes you can go. So the couple was like, there's difficile, like difficult, and facile, like easy. And of course, they just immediately picked the difficult route. There was no discussion about it. And the difficult route involves literally rock climbing. Like you're on the edge of a mountain and you have to like position your hands and like your feet so that, and there's just like tiny like rocks and you're literally on the edge of the mountain.
So you're on like the sheer face.
You're on the sheer face and like if you tumbled, I mean, you would probably die. Like it was really scary. And I was like, I am not an experienced hiker to do this. And she's like, my friend was like, this is the only like challenging part. I was like, this is so freaking challenging.
Like, do people use ropes or no?
No, she said, like, it would have been better if we had a rope. I was like, oh my gosh,
great. Kim.
So anyways, we finally got to the top and I was like, I literally don't think I was like even breathing because I was so scared.
Did you just not look down? I'm kind of scared.
I couldn't look down. No, I'm kind of scared of heights too.
Just go straight. Yeah, I don't know what I would have done.
I would have. It would have been worse if I had looked down. I don't think I would have done it. So,
anyways, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah,
putting yourself in danger.
Yes, putting myself in danger. I survived, so all good. What about you? What's new?
Honestly, what is new? I got a keratin to my hair.
So good. When she walked in, I was like, "Your hair is
but this isn't the final version."
Well,
it's like it. If you've ever, I have very curly, frizzy hair, and I'm always blowing it out. And I used to get these like keratin Brazilian treatments when I lived in New York, but I haven't had one in almost 10 years because I stopped getting them when I moved a few years before I moved to France.
Okay,
because every time I would do it, it would just like burn my eyes so much and my scalp. And I was like, this like probably isn't
good for you.
Good for you. And then I moved here and I don't know. I just like haven't done it in a really long time. And then when I got pregnant, my hair got like kind of awesome.
Really good.
Yeah. Like it was just different. It was like so much volume and I felt like it was okay. Yeah. And then I just like stopped. And finally the salon I go to get a blow, because I hate doing my hair. So I have this little guilty pleasure habit of going to get like one blowout a week.
So good.
And they've been telling me like for weeks, they're like, this is like really hard, or for months. They've been like, this is hard. Your hair is really hard. Like you need to do this like natural
treatment,
lissage, like kind of thing. And so I finally went and did it. And I'm going to wash my hair today. So we'll see.
But it looks so good.
What happens? But what they told me the US version is illegal in France.
What?
Like they can't, because I guess in the US they use formaldehyde.
Oh.
And you're not allowed to do that here. So I'm like,
it's probably actually better. I mean, it's probably good for your hair.
Yeah, no, that's one of the reasons they suggested it, because it like repairs the bonds of like broken hair. Because I went in last week for a haircut and they were like, actually, like wait until after we do it, because some of the dead ends might repair themselves. So we'll see. I'm excited about that. And then the only other thing I've been doing is we've been sold out of cotton from Prop Baby for so long, and it's finally back.
Yay!
So I've just had like a lot of stuff like on the back end to try to figure out.
But that's so good. Lots of really good orders.
Excited. Yes.
Fingers crossed.
So we'll see.
Amazing.
But yeah, that's about it.
Good.
And then tonight we're actually doing something fun together. We're going to Terre Hugo, which is, if you come to Provence, you have to go here. But I mean, you can go anytime during the summer. They're open from June to September.
Okay.
And it's this like family-owned lavender field.
So cool.
And the plants are really old, and it's so beautiful. And you can go during the day. They do like little soap workshops, so you can also just go and walk around and like walk through the lavender when it's blooming, or even when it's not. It's just so pretty. They have like little seats, like those like butterfly kind of chairs set up. There's all these little places you can sit. And at night they do these aperos with live music, and they have like a barbecue with sausages. They do cocktails.
I'm so excited.
You can buy a bottle of wine, and it's just like a great place to meet with a group of people. And they also do, which I haven't tried yet, they do these summer dinners like in the lavender field, this one long table.
Oh my gosh, it's probably gorgeous.
With like a chef, and I think it's like $100 a person.
Okay.
So it's a little bit expensive, but it looks really nice. So if you're coming and you want like a fun activity to do.
Yes.
Look
and
them
it's
up.
every Thursday night, right?
The aperos are every Thursday night.
In the summer.
Every Friday night they do like a picnic box thing.
Oh, cool.
And then these dinners are, I think they have a couple of them, but you have to book it ahead. There's tickets. So if you're coming, I'll post about it.
Post about it. Yeah. And we'll share our experience.
So we're going together tonight with our families and some other people. So we're looking forward to that.
We're excited for that too.
Okay. So what are we talking about today, Kim?
So today, this has been kind of something on our minds, and I think a lot of you can relate. We've sort of had this perspective of like, why we think it's okay to lean out or lean back. And what that means is like, I think so much of our lives, like society sort of tells us about this path that we should be on and what we need to be doing and at certain ages and achieve these milestones, et cetera, et cetera. And I think both of us, so stressful. And I think growing up in the US, like that's just kind of common that you're sort of on this,
predetermined
like a predetermined path that is not only set by your parents, but like what everyone around you is also doing. And I think Isabel and I were chatting, and both of us have had moments where we realize like this isn't actually what makes us happy or who we really want to be. And like our paths have kind of led us, I think, to like living in France and meeting each other, which would have never happened. I think had I like just sort of kept my head down and like stayed on the corporate path and like, married the guy I like dated in college, and that was like supposed to be the one. And I think there's just a lot of ways that like we're trying to sort of rethink. And I have to catch myself in this like trap that I get myself into of like, my quick story was like, I feel like I was one of those kind of good girls that like always did what I should do, right? Like all through school, it was like, I have to get like the best grades because then I have to get into like a great college, and then I have to get a great job, and then I have to go get my master's. And then you have to keep moving up the corporate path. Like you want your LinkedIn profile to look like you're constantly getting, the next promotion and, make the right job jump like in corporate America so that you can make more money and et cetera, et cetera. And that's literally what I've been doing for 20 years. And I was like, I literally had this moment when my kids were little, and every morning I would leave like super early, and they would be sitting on the couch like with my nanny, like waving, and I would be literally every single morning I was crying. Like I'd have to like wipe tears away and then get on like this crazy like subway or bus or something to just get to work and like pull myself together, and then be in like corporate world all day and come home. And I had this moment of like, what am I doing? Like, do I even like this? And
like, is this what I want?
Yeah, is this what I want? And I realized like, no, this is like not what I want. I mean, yes, of course there's like parts of, my professional life that I very much enjoyed, and like, not that like, all of it is bad, but it's more like what is going to like fulfill me for the next 20 years. And I can't say it would have been like getting that next promotion and staying, in the place I was.
And I think it's also hard of like, I mean, you said like you've been working on this since like high school.
Yes.
And so
totally,
especially I think I've noticed this in life when you have done like put in a certain amount of effort to something, it can be really hard to stop.
For sure.
Because it's like, oh, I've already done all of this. Like I might as well keep going. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think.
But I think if you don't take a like moment to actually pause, like you can just keep going. And I think so many people do. And I think it's not just about like work, right? I mean, we were talking about like even like in a relationship, like when your partner like wants to do something dramatically different. Like, I mean, my husband literally came to me, it was probably almost 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago, and was like, I'm really unhappy at work. Like I want to quit my job. And I was like, what? No. Like, and society doesn't tell you can just like leave a job without knowing what you're going to do. Right. Yeah. Like that's so,
you have to have something already.
Yeah. You got to be like ready and onto like, you should have already been interviewing or figuring it out. And it's so hard when you're working like 80-hour weeks to also be thinking about like, well, I don't like this, but I want to do this. Like you just, I mean, he didn't have the headspace. I've never had the headspace to like,
then you throw young kids in,
and then you throw little kids in, and it's a lot, I think. When he came to me, like, and I was telling my other mom friends in California, like, well, my husband's like really wants to quit his job, and they were like, no, just send him on a few guys' weekends, and he'll get it out of his system. Like, you don't let him quit his job. And I was like, what?
But that's like that kind of like a cuckoo crazy mindset. It's like no, like someone's telling you like they're unhappy, and like the like response is, oh, let them go, like blow off some steam on a boys trip. But it's actually like such a true thing. I think even in the US with like a lot of like the binge drinking, it's like people are so kind of just like wound to, they're wound so tight by the end of the week or the end of the day. Like your body, like you can't carry that level of pressure all the time. And I think that a lot of times people just like blow off steam using that. And I definitely in France see that a lot less. Granted, I'm not out like partying a lot. I'm like sleeping early and getting up early, whatever. Yeah. But I do think there's like a stark difference in kind of what's socially acceptable with drinking. I do think that sort of relates back to that because in the US you're sort of in a pressure cooker.
Yeah, and you need an escape. Yeah. Yes, for sure. I mean, I know like, and I think it's everywhere that you see and everyone else is doing it. So you just assume it's like what you have to do. I mean, I feel like this for us, this last like year of, I would say maybe a year and a half of like us making a decision to like my husband to quit his job, like us to like be like, what if we moved abroad? Like, what if we just like exposed our kids to a different culture? What if we like took that jump? And I mean, I'll be honest, I was like scared to death. Like, and I would tell people that like, this is what we're going to do. And literally they would look at me like I had two heads. They're like, what do you mean you're just going to like up and move to France? Like, that's insane. Because I think
it's also one of those things where like, I've seen that sometimes people react like that when maybe it's something in their own head. They're like, what would that have been like? But then, so it almost triggers them in a way of like, you can't possibly do that. It's too crazy. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah, for sure.
And I've seen. I can imagine that people thought you were crazy, but it is sort of crazy what you guys.
I mean, it is
like
kind
crazy
of crazy.
Good. You know, like I don't see like most people don't do that or don't have like the courage to leave a life that they know because you leave something for the unknown.
Right, completely. That's like it's really scary,
and especially because I moved here before I had children. I can imagine like moving your whole family, like
totally.
Even if we thought about moving like back to the US, like now it's more of like a question of like, is this the best move for our family?
Right.
So I think it was particularly brave of you guys.
Well, thank you.
To do that. But I also think it's so great that because this could have been like a big kind of like in your relationship probably.
Oh, 100%.
Like if you hadn't been open and realized like clear with yourself that there was something that you were unhappy with
for sure
in your current situation. Yes. Like if it was only one person, I imagine that could have been really tough too.
Totally. Yes.
Because at least you were scared, but you had like the little bit of eye open about it. So you were.
And I totally. And I think it comes down to like in like a partnership marriage, like you have to really trust your partner, right? Like,
totally.
I mean, I just think it's so important. Like if I didn't totally trust my husband that like, he's smart, he's hardworking, he's motivated, like he will figure out like what he wants to do. And at the same time, like I will also figure out like what makes me happy, like with both of us having the mindset of like kind of trusting each other that it's like going to work out, that like things will be fine. I mean, I relied on like trust actually a lot to kind of.
But that's like such a good sign too of like a strong relationship. But it's so true, having to trust the other person. And at the end of the day, I think sometimes it can feel really scary, but it's also like, this is the person you chose.
Totally.
You probably chose them for a reason
100%.
because of these certain aspects. And having like the courage to just quit a job and try something drastically different is also probably one of the characteristics that you really
totally
like him,
he's adventurous for sure. And I think this is like what you and I were talking about, of this idea of like why it's okay to kind of like lean back, like do something that, and when I say that, it means like not what everyone else in society is like doing and telling you to do and doing like all the shoulds if it's not what you want. And I think that to me was like super eye-opening of, I know this sounds crazy, but like just like actually listening to myself of like, well, what do I want in my life? Like what really matters? Like what makes me happy? Like I mean, I went years like not even listening to myself or asking that question. It's so interesting that like you can get to like 40 and not have done that, you know? I mean,
but it's also like when you're in it and everyone else around you is in it too, it's way harder to
It's really hard.
It's really like, oh, this is just life.
Like,
yeah. It's just life. Like what you do. You wake up, you go to work.
You go to work and you do this.
What you're supposed to do.
Right. And this
and you can like,
I know. And I think yours, like, I'm so envious. Like you kind of discovered this about yourself at such a younger point in life.
Well, I don't know if it's so much younger, but I will say that I have always been a little bit more rebellious. So like if I was supposed to do something, like there's no way I was going to do it.
Awesome.
So I wouldn't, this was like led to like very tumultuous times, especially with my mom when I was in high school, because, you know, like, especially like studying, like, for example, I never got good grades until I realized that I needed, like, I couldn't, I always had to be the one who decided.
Okay.
So like if my mom was like, you need to get good grades, I was like, yeah, whatever. Why do I need good grades? But then if I was like, okay, if I want to go to this college where my friends are going to go, I have to get good grades. And I was like, okay, now I can do it. And then I would get like a 98 on the biology test. And the teacher, this actually happened. The teacher called my parents and was like, I think Isabel cheated on the exam. She got the best grade in the whole class.
No, they thought you cheated.
And I was like, no, I actually did. I studied. I like finally studied this time.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
But so I did have like a little bit of I don't like being pushed into a certain direction.
Yeah.
That said, in college and especially after college, like me and my friends in college, now when we look back, we always laugh about this because we'd be like, oh yeah, like by the time we're 27, we'll be like married, living in Connecticut. So we went to school in Connecticut and like all like living on the same street and like all having kids. Like flash forward to 27, like none of us, I think we're even in relationships. We were like staying out till 4 a.m. in New York City, like doing shenanigans. But I will say I had after college, I like got a job in New York City. Yeah. And realized I didn't like the first job, but I really wanted to work in like luxury real estate marketing. Yeah. And so I became a real estate agent.
Good for you.
I worked as an agent for about a year, and then I got the job that I really wanted for this big development company.
And you're probably like super excited.
And I was so excited because I was like, okay, like I want this. I'm going to get it. And I did, I think like 10 interviews. It was the craziest, most like corporate interview I'd ever done. I had no idea what I was doing.
Pencil skirt, the whole thing.
Yeah, like I literally I had to buy like 3 different pencil skirts because I didn't want to wear the same thing each time I went for the interview. And it was the worst year of my entire life. I lost weight. It was like cutthroat. I think kind of what you see like in the movies. Maybe it was like corporate shenanigans. Like
totally.
It was so not me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't do this.
Totally.
I don't want to do this. And I quit. Like
without knowing like what you're going to do next.
No, I quit and became, because I had a couple friends who were in grad school and were babysitting on the Upper East Side. Okay. And they were making great money under the table.
Totally.
So I was like, you know what? I'm quitting and I'm going to babysit. And amazing. Honestly, like it's been 10 years now, so I don't think I can get in trouble for this. But the difference in myself, I was making like the same amount of money because after the tax stuff, whatever. Yeah. So I just babysat and I was like a kind of like personal assistant babysitter. I would go from like 2 to 8 or 12 to 8, depending. I had worked for a couple families and I would like do the grocery shopping. I would make dinner. I would do laundry and then I'd pick the kids up from school, do all that. And I was like, this is living. Cause I still had,
you still had a life. Totally.
I had like, I could do whatever I wanted still. I had the mornings to myself and I was like, wow, like, this is awesome. This is the good life. But then I was also like, okay, I can't just, be a babysitter for the rest of my life. And so during this time, I also, because I had in the back of my head, I had always sort of been curious about being a dietitian. And I was like, let me do a little volunteering. So I volunteered in the Bronx and in Brooklyn, teaching nutrition classes to students at school.
Oh, cool.
And while I was doing that, I was like, okay, this is really cool. Yeah. And I really liked the fact that if I was a dietitian, I could have the option to work full time if I needed to.
Totally.
But there's a lot of part-time,
which is awesome,
positions available for dietitians. And my number one thing, I don't think I ever dreamed of having a big career. I just wanted to have a family.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, if I can do this and work a little bit and still be with my kids, this is great. So I ended up going back to school, but I think I feel like I've gotten a little lost and maybe I'm talking too much, but
no, it's interesting.
The point of realizing that that wasn't for me. And then also seeing that you can do things differently and still have the same result.
For sure.
I was essentially bringing home the same amount of money at the end of the month,
doing something totally
but
different.
I was drastically
and you were
happier.
Yeah.
And I had the feeling of freedom in my life. And I think once you feel that once, it's really hard to let it go.
Totally.
And so then that's really what caused me to go back to school. And I continued to babysit and I went to school, and that was such a great part of my life. I really enjoyed it. But if I hadn't made that decision, I never would have. The reason I met my husband is because I did a course through NYU that was in Italy, and I ended up going to Paris afterwards.
So
and
cool.
If I had never done that, I never would have ended up here. And so I think sometimes it takes just that little bit of trying something, knowing that it could also fail. And also people were like, why are you babysitting? You went to college and now you're
society looks at that as
looking at my parents she's just a nanny.
Yeah. Right.
She went all to college and that's all she's doing.
Yeah.
But my parents always really kind of deeply trusted me too.
So great.
So I felt very supported in that sense.
That's awesome.
I do think if I hadn't had that realization and had that one year that was so bad, I had the jobs I did before were so boring that I was like, okay, I can't do this.
Right.
And then doing the other thing felt better.
Right.
But then I was like, oh my gosh, this is horrible and so stressful and everyone is after each other. And I was like, I can't work in this kind of combative environment where everyone's getting excited about making someone else look bad. It was terrible.
Oh no.
But if I hadn't done that, I don't think I ever would have ended. I know I wouldn't have ended up in a different situation.
But it's so cool that you listen to yourself and were able to recognize because the easier path would have been just well, I already got this real estate license, right? I should just stay here and maybe it'll get better. And you kind of keep hoping in your head. That I think that's, to be honest, that's probably what I would have done. And I'm but that doesn't, just hoping it gets better is not a strategy. No,
I agree.
So I think it's super bold, that you were able to recognize that in yourself and and look, you supported yourself. You did everything the same. Just with a totally different mindset of no, I'm going to do something that makes me happier. You know, I think it's amazing. I think, what I was coming around to and I've been reflecting on this a lot because I have mentored a lot of women that are younger and starting their careers. And, a lot of them are well, I have to do this. I have to, take the seat at the corporate table, do this by a certain time, get this promotion and my life's going to be over if you don't. And my advice is always well, is that, I ask them now, is that what you want? Yeah. And even just asking the question, I think makes them pause and be why? And I noticed no one's really thought about if that's what they really want, or they think they want it because that's what people should do. It's the next step. But it's are you enjoying this? Do you feel you're being fulfilled by this? There's so many questions that I now know I prefer to ask people than just say no, here's how you get that promotion. Here's what you have to do and blah, blah, blah. Sure, I could give that type of advice, but it wouldn't be genuine, and it wouldn't be what I would have wanted someone to have told me when I was exploring that at the time.
Totally. I think it's awesome that you did that. And I also think that you can, there's a reason why in the US you need to have a stable job. You have to be able to provide for family and all that stuff.
Of course.
But I'm also the believer of if you actually are following your true passions, the
money
financial
will come. Yes,
will come.
I totally agree.
And I'm not saying it'll come right away. And it might be like really bad and really stressful for a long time. But if you can like wear out the roller coasters of it and just like change things slightly or do things differently, I feel like it's always worth
I totally agree. I totally agree.
People will say, oh, if you leave this, like you'll never be able to go back. Like I
don't agree with that.
Don't think that's true.
No.
I think that especially today, there's so many other like new with COVID, like with remote working. I just feel like there's so many more flexible opportunities available.
For sure.
And I think that it's worth if you have like if you're sitting back and you want to try something new, like just try something. Even if you try it on the side.
I agree. I totally agree.
Like just dip your toe in.
Yes.
Because you just never know.
You never know where it's going to lead.
Where it can lead or what can happen next. And sometimes it's always like that first little something that's the hardest.
For sure.
And then if you do it a couple times, it's like, oh, and then it becomes normal.
Normal. Yeah.
And I heard a quote recently that really resonated with me. I'm going to probably butcher it, but it was something along the lines of like acute pain. Acute pain is worth the potential of having future happiness. Like in your daily life, like handling pain, with like daily acute pain of, because if you quit your job and you're trying to start something or whatever, there's like financial stress, there's
for sure
mental stress when you have a family and a partner.
Oh my gosh, totally.
It's a roller coaster. And it's, I think in the US we get caught up with like the white picket fence and everything's there. And this is the opposite of that.
Yes.
But if you know that in the future at some point all of those hardships
will have paid off,
could actually lead you to a point where you're like aligned with what you really want. It's so worth it.
It's so worth it. I agree.
And even if you try and it doesn't work out,
like,
the fact that you tried, I feel like is such a confidence builder.
For sure.
That like then you try something
else. Right. 100%.
I don't know.
I'm with that perspective.
Make sense what
yes.
I'm saying?
No, for sure.
Like I would rather like take the risks and fail terribly.
Yeah.
And because then at least like when I look back, like at the end of my life, I'm like,
yes,
oh yeah, I tried that.
Yes, for sure.
And like maybe I shouldn't have. I don't know. I feel like
I totally agree.
It's worth it.
I think to me, it's like you can kind of choose the path of like certainty, right? Like, and that would have been my previous self would have said like, okay, well, I know that like this will lead to this and this will like make this much money and then we can have this kind of house and drive this kind of car, blah, blah, blah. My kids can go to this school. And there's certainty in that, right? Like you feel like, okay, I know what that looks like, right?
You feel comfortable.
Totally, you're comfortable. And there's something in the comfort that I think makes you believe that like you're also happy with it, right? Like
totally. That's a really good point.
I mean, I'm like the type of person that like definitely craves more certainty than I think a lot of people. And I'm realizing that like, but that certainty, while I thought was like equivalent to like my own happiness, it really wasn't at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, and it took me some like kind of digging deep and soul searching to realize that. And I think like now I'm like, look, I don't know where we're going to be in like a year or two. And that would have freaked me out like a while back. And now I'm like, that's okay. Like, and in fact, that's like exciting because it means I'm like growing and trying new things. And I am trying, and my husband too. And I feel like now I agree with you on like kind of the uncertainty is like more appealing in ways because I'm like going to be trying things and doing things that I've like never done and tried before. And I think that's like actual growth and it's exciting. And I think the fact that you were able to like recognize that for yourself too, like, I mean, you didn't take the path of like total certainty, right? Like of this is like what I need to be doing at this time and age. And I mean, who knows where that would have led you, you know? I mean,
I have an idea,
but not in like, I mean, not in a good way.
I don't think I would be like living my best life though. You know? I don't know. I think I would be bored.
Yeah, you probably would be in your house in the picket fence in Connecticut.
Yeah. But I do love Connecticut.
I know, I do too. I'm not just in Connecticut or a picket fence. Those all sound lovely.
We don't have picket fences in France, but
we do have some gates.
We have gates.
But I was also thinking, what I've observed, and tell me if you agree, Isabel, but like the French relationship with work is very different. I think
it's inspiring.
I
also think it caused me to go a little too aloof. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, it's caused me to be like, this is so interesting.
Let's
like,
work anyway.
when I see people all day at cafes, like I'm like, what? Like, what did they know that I don't? That they figured this out and they're like half my age and just relaxing, but like they're obviously making money and figuring out like, you know, how to do life, just a different relationship with work. And
I just think they take like quality of life a little bit more seriously. But you know, there's the cultures are so vastly different.
I know, you can't really
one
compare.
Of the things when I first moved here that was so confusing to me is sometimes it seemed like it was hard to get someone to do a job.
Yes,
like if something breaks,
I think it is.
And like you call like three companies, like
totally,
like they'll call you next week. For sure.
This is
Whereas,
like real,
in the
like
US,
everywhere in France deals
like,
with this.
You know, if you have a job that needs to be done, like someone's going to show up and do that job because people want to do the job. But here it's like, oh, maybe they've already booked up the jobs they need to do that week and they'll get to you next week. There's not that same hunger, I think.
No, I totally agree.
I mean?
Yes. Like even I was telling you, I tried a new workout class and this woman, she's 30. She left her corporate job in finance, like in Paris, moved here to open like a workout studio. And in my head, like I asked her and I was like, so are you thinking of expanding? Like such a like American question, actually.
Yeah, because like one's never enough.
Right,
like,
right. Like, why doesn't she franchise this?
Yeah.
Like she could market this more. Like that's like what was going through my head. And she like looked at me and she goes, well, because I'm happy. She goes, it's only open 4 days a week. She's like, I come at 9:30 and I'm done at 5. And she's like, and it's only 4 days a week. She goes, and then I get to like do whatever I want. And she goes, and I'm making the same money. And I'm like, okay, well,
that makes sense.
Totally makes sense.
More isn't always
more. Isn't always more. And she valued the fact that she had like quality of life over needing to like franchise out this workout studio. Yeah. Right. And it's just, what I'm saying by that is like, it's just a different
mindset.
Mentality and mindset.
Much more like
capitalist.
Is it
like
capitalist, consumerist,
like a capitalist society. Like it's all about like making the most amount of money to get the most stuff, you know, like,
but it's but it's also like stressful too, because
for sure,
you know, you don't have the same, like here, like you can say it's much easier to value quality of life because at the end of the day, like, yes, we pay tons of taxes, but I know you pay a lot of taxes in like California and New York too. But you have your health care covered. You have like, there's not these like big events that can happen that like really shake up your life. Like you have like your retirement money. So I think it's easier to have that more laid back relationship
with work, with
work. Yeah. But it's just nice because, you know, like people have the time to put.
I know. And they spend more time with their kids and their families. And like that to me is like just so beautifully inspiring to observe because it's like lessons I want to take for myself.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean like, you know, I think there's less of like, showiness of like, I need this big house. Like you were explaining like, you know, some of the French families, you know, like you would have no idea that they actually probably had as much money as they do because it's not about like
people aren't as
showing it off, you know?
And quiet luxury.
Luxury.
What's that like TikTok term?
Yeah.
I have just so many memories of being at that horrible corporate job in my cubicle, wolfing down. There was a Whole Foods in the basement, and I would like run down. Yeah. I didn't even leave the building.
Oh yeah,
there was
Whole
Foods in the basement. So I would take the elevator down, go to Whole Foods, like go in like
you never saw the outdoors,
express line, like wolf down like whatever I could, eat lunch, and then you know you see here like people with full-time jobs takes like an hour and a half to go like
and actually sit and like have a real conversation with somebody else.
Imagine what that probably does to your like
mental positivity.
You're probably so much more effective as a worker.
Totally.
If you are like given the freedom to like, like, you know, it's just normal to be able to eat lunch. Like, it's not normal to be like
scarfing a salad in the meeting.
But in the US, it's so normal.
It's so normal. That's what I did like for 20 years. Like I
crazy.
would always do that. It was just like expected that you were like, food was more just seen as like something to get you fuel to keep working. It wasn't like something to be enjoyed.
No. It's like you gotta make it to the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess like to sort of wrap this up, the point of this discussion isn't like drop everything and move to another country. No. Because I actually think that's probably not the right move for most
I would
people.
Totally agree.
But it's just to, if you're super happy doing things, like that's awesome too. But if there's like a little piece of you that feels like there's something else that they want in life, like take like one step to doing it. Even if it's just like taking a pottery class, you know, like you want to do something more artistic, like take an art class or like
you never know.
Indulge yourself in something that inspires you and makes you feel happy. And life is so busy, especially with work and kids. And I feel like it's almost unfair, especially for women, because I don't know. I still feel like a lot of everything falls back on women. And so it's even harder for us to like have that time to take a moment for ourselves. But just, if you can, do it.
Yes, I totally agree. Like,
I don't know.
Just even if it's just a brief pause to like close your eyes for 5 minutes. And I know that's like impossible with young kids. Trust me. I used to hide in the bathroom.
You have to say the thing you did. Do you remember when you told me you were doing like a professional coach and she would have you sit in the closet?
Yes.
This was so cool. Could you quickly explain this and then we'll wrap it up?
Really quickly, after I left, I was like, my corporate job, I was like kind of lost. Like I knew I wanted to work, but I didn't know exactly what it would be, et cetera. So I worked with a like professional coach, which I would highly advise. She was amazing, but she said, you don't even know how to stop and listen to yourself and pause. Like she was like, here's what you need to do. And I thought that like this sounds crazy. She's like, I need you to sit in your closet in silence in the dark. And she's like, and don't like, just observe your thoughts. Like she's like, don't push them away. Just like sit there. And I had to work myself up to 20 minutes in the closet. And that sounds like insane, but it was like, I had no clue how to slow down and no clue how to like be in touch with like what I wanted and listen to myself, because that voice was pushed so far down. It was like, she was like, we have to sort of bring that back out. And it actually totally worked. Like I figured out after that like the things I really cared about and like made that happen. Like I started my own consulting business and just doing the things I love about marketing. Like all the stuff I enjoyed, I did it. And I only chose clients that I like really wanted to work with. And that was like inspiring me. And like, I was still growing, but I could do it at my own time and hours. And like when I wanted to work and spend more time with the kids. And like, I've been doing that the last 3 years, and it has brought me so much joy and happiness to have like figured out something that is a better relationship with work. But I wouldn't have gotten there if I didn't sit in the dark closet, I don't think.
Okay, so I'm going to change the wrap up.
Okay,
so you guys have homework. You have to go sit in your closet for 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah, I started at 3 minutes because I couldn't even handle it.
And see what thoughts come into your head.
Just see what comes into your head.
And let us know.
Yes.
If you do it.
Right in.
Maybe I'll do it too. I don't have a closet though.
I kind of want to do it again. We can go sit in Armoires now. That's what they have here.
Okay,
exactly. All right. We'll tune in next time.
Okay.
Bye.